Yeah, we didn't either. Our bad.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
As corrected?
Correct.
I'll amend that a little bit. Okay. Mr. Smith? All right. Got it. Okay. So, we'll stand as approved unless there's any objections. So we'll move on. Item number 3, items from information from vendors. We have United Healthcare here, but I don't know of anything to proceed. Item number 4 is information from the Employee Benefits Division. As you can see, we have our statistical information for the plan year to date, mostly through August and some September. Are there any questions on any of the premium spends and plan spends dollar-wise that we've been doing right now? We're ramping up. If you see the average cost, if you go down to that year-to-date average compared to the previous 2 years, you can definitely see the movement per month is moving upwards, and you can see the little bit of the shift in the enrollment between the two medical plans on the average.
What our savings has been on Plan D.
On Plan D, here, make sure they're recording it, Linda, so that'll.
Thank you.
Okay. I don't have that number in front of me, but I do know we probably saved $1 million plus. I saw a report when they were here last, the Express Scripts people, and we are starting to see the plannings, the savings from what we probably would have spent had we not implemented the Medicare D employer group waiver plan. So let me see if I do have an Express Scripts report here from August. Let me see if I can spot something real quick for you. But the conversation, if I recall it correctly, is that they do think it's performing as expected to have performed for the employer group waiver plan. It's a Medicare plan, so it has a lot of rules that Medicare puts into place. However, we do think this was a good strategic move to help our membership, and I can't spot it right off the top of my head.
Remind me too, when we changed, we went from, it lowered the actual cost on the scripts for the retiree and the city side, but then we no longer receive the rebate. Is that right?
Correct.
So it's like you didn't get the refund that we were getting before, and this way it really split the savings where the retirees and the city.
Because Medicare is helping to subsidize an employer group waiver plan, those manufacturer rebates get plowed. We do get those back, but the Medicare subsidy that we used to get through the retiree drug subsidy doesn't come back to us. It goes back into the plan itself, so it offsets those drug ingredient costs. So it lowered, and those plans get to negotiate better deals with the manufacturers, and so that's why there's drug savings on there, and it's a tighter formulary than what we had before, which was an open deal, and there's a lot more preventative medications, and because you guys have the same thing at United, so am I misstating anything? Just read your head if I'm getting it wrong, but anyway, it's a better package deal, and it's encouraged by Medicare for employers to sponsor these Medicare D plans. And so we do think it's a win for us in the long term, and it's reduced our cost. And it's hard to prove a negative, I'll give you that, because, what it could have been and what we didn't get, yeah. So, but that's what ESI had, and I can't spot the number right here, but I know it's over $1 million plus what we thought we were going to spend. We think it was a good deal. Is there any other questions?
Yeah, can you give us maybe a little background on the increases of of the health insurance for retirees and active city employees and all while we're here today?
Yes, I can do that. I'll segue then into my other topic was our open enrollment's coming the last week in October. It's going to be over here at the Civic Center. It's for that full week. There's online enrollment so people can do it through self-service, or they can go over to the Civic Center, and that is for active and retirees and all our participating public trusts all at the same place. That's going to include firefighters that are under our flexible spending plan. They're going to be over there as well. So it's one-stop shop. We're going to try all being at one. Linda is aware, and so I'll bring the committee up to date. We received premium rate increases for 2017, and let me find my nifty charts here. It's a little bit painful. I picked up the wrong one. Well, of course, I didn't pick up my summary page when I left the office a while ago. What's going on is if I were, do you have one? Okay, great. It's good to have people out in the audience. I'm sorry, I thought I picked up the wrong thing. What's happening for our active employees, and this is just retirees, our active employees on the HMO United Healthcare Plan, that is a 10% premium rate adjustment for 2017. And on our indemnity plan, which is the one that's administered by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Oklahoma, our active employees are going up 12.8%. And our retirees under 65 are increasing 49.3% in premium rate. And our retirees that are 65 and over in the Medicare set are going up 11%. And on top of the retirees, remember, there is also that 2% cost-sharing adjustment we're making for 2017. So their share of the premiums go from 44% of the total premium to 46% for 2017. So what's going on with our early retirees, and they're the ones that take it strongly. The effective dollar rate adjustment is a 56% increase for early retirees, and for retirees that are over 64, it's an effective 16% rate increase on the indemnity plan. The effective rate increase for the HMO, the Medicare Advantage plan through United, is a 5%. So when the actual dollar adjustments. What's going on, particularly on the Blue Cross Blue Shield administered plan, we've had several large cases of ill people, high claimants in that particular group, and there's only 380 folks in that group. And so there's been particularly large claimants in medical costs, a lot of cancers, and a lot of these folks are going to be ongoing in their treatments. So this is going to be a chronic condition rolling forward. We've also had $2 million in additional drug spend on these people. Part of that is the chemo drugs, and then we've got a particular one person that is taking a very expensive medication to treat a condition, and that is driven the cost up tremendously for the retirees under 65 group. I know this is distressing for if you're in that age group, this is a very substantial premium rate adjustment for them. However, this is projections that Blue Cross is that they expect us to spend in 2017. So this is the way we have to move to fund the anticipated claims history on that.
And the increase that we've seen in the claims, is that something that just happened in this past year, or has it been happening over the last couple of years?
This has popped up in the past 12 months. So a lot of events. And you know, insurance is somewhat cyclical sometimes, and so we've done all right, and now we're having a bad year.
But in that bad year, does the city still carry their stop-loss insurance?
The city still carries stop loss, and our...
How much of that
It's
does that help?
$300,000 is the deductible, so the city's plan pays the first $300,000, and then our stop loss insurance will reimburse us when that individual person reaches that $3,001 level. That next incremental dollar, we are reimbursed.
And so that
It doesn't cover medications. It just covers
it's-
hospital, physician types.
And remind me of the deductible, it's 300,000
$300,000
in a year.
in a year, in a 12-month plan year.
So for an individual who has high costs, you're still going to absorb if it's only going 300,000 every year in the plan.
Yes, every year, 300,000, 300,000. It's only in this January, the policies of January, December. So these folks in this particular group that are moving into 2017, if they're still having ongoing expenses, the clock starts over again on January 1st. So they may or may not hit that 300,000.
And the real challenge too is not only the increase in costs, but that's our smallest retiree group.
It is our smallest.
And it's priced separately with, I mean, what's our split between the over and under 65?
The over 65
Roughly.
roughly is 1,200 or so. And the under 65s is 380. And that is what, the pool is just not very big.
Is that 380 with police, fire, and...
Police,
and
fire, everybody that's
everybody?
retired that has our health insurance.
So Colin, if someone in that age group, the under 65 retiree, with a 50+% increase, can they go into the regular market and have substantial
Yes.
savings? So
Yes.
is that just going to result in horrible adverse selection? I mean, because I would think someone facing a 56% increase is going to explore the private market, and then what's going to happen to the rates for the ones who can't go in the private market?
It could be adverse selection, that people, the well ones may leave our plan and go to the marketplace. And so we will be left with the more ill folks, so that may just cause that death spiral to feed on itself, increase that cost for that group. You know, that's a chance the person we take, they take, you know, and if they leave us, we unload the liability, but, you know, there's a big but there. And that, yes, they could go to the marketplace. They just, under our city rules, they can't come back, though, to the insurance. So they lose their city-sponsored insurance if they ever leave us.
So they would basically then lose the ability to participate in the over 65 retiree.
Correct.
So if they're approaching 65, they'll probably write it out, I would suspect.
If you're 65, you will ride it out. Those
But if you're 56,
57, 58, you may leave to the marketplace.
Right.
Or you may take insurance with a lot of these people, maybe they're working and then work someplace else, take the insurance there and leave ours, or their spouse will change and leave off. I mean, some economic decisions are going to happen.
they may have no
because
choice.
These premiums are very high.
But the option, I mean, you don't have an option. Once you retire and you leave, if you don't choose the city plan, you can never come back. So if they go out to the market, they can never come back once they reach that age of 65, which is, you know.
So what is the premium
do you work
at
At that,
that 56% rate,
to 56.
percent increase?
All right, so we'll go with retiree only. So what's going to happen for retiree contribution on the United Healthcare Plan would be $569.68. On the Group Indemnity Blue Cross Administered Alternate Plan, the premium rate is $428.35.
That's a month?
That's a month,
That's for...
Retiree only.
Is that just for the retiree only?
retiree only. And then the standard plan, where most of these folks tend to reside, will be $676.53 per month. So I would anticipate we will see movement to a lot more to our alternate plan, which has a higher deductible and three-tier drug copay. So I think people will make an economic choice to
Generally,
switch.
it's retiree and spouse.
And most of it is retiree only or retiree and spouse. We have very few families left
What's the retiree and spouse rate?
Retiring spouse rate for United Healthcare will be $1,281.77 a month. On the alternate plan, $826.71. And on the standard plan, $1,305.71. So I think people will make an economic choice when it all is said and done.
But I think about a week ago when our group met with Colin, one of the things that we had asked was that maybe he looked at a plan change maybe looking at deductible changes, out of pocket changes to maybe bring down some of these premiums, which the city has not looked at that for a while, for quite some time. So, I mean, you know, we're all looking for, we know that the city gives very good insurance to their employees and to their retirees, there's no doubt. But sometimes we may have to look at a plan change. And I know the group that I represent on this board has come to me and they're asking that maybe the city goes out and looks at a different plan for retirees. We're not asking to change. We're only asking to look at what might be out there for the retirees at maybe a lower rate. Because when you look at the retirees' paychecks, and gosh, I know I've been here a long time. You look at their paycheck, some of that is more than half of their check that they take home. So when you talk about this smaller age group that's in between retirees, 50-something years old that retires, and they seem to be unhealthy at the time. If they were to retire, they couldn't even afford the insurance. So, you know, I think it's now time that the city maybe looks at something.
Well, and
a little different.
you know, we'll bring up some history about that too. We have to negotiate our health plans for active folks. So we did put a proposal with our active population about going to the Blue Preferred, tighter PPO network, preferred provider network, and that did not move forward to so that was one way we were going to try to help address that. And we are quite willing to change our plan designs for going into, you know, at this point, maybe 2017, but probably more like 2018, to tell you the truth. We've got the alternate plan, and we had that ad hoc committee that Ron served on and Craig was on. And Larry, were you part of that deal too? And so we put that plan out there, which that higher deductible, and we probably need to move that direction, and maybe our folks will do it, because what we thought was a pretty good product for folks, and we didn't get much enrollment. So you know, we can talk about anything that you guys, retiree folks, want to buy into and help develop.
Maybe Blue Cross and Blue Shield can come back and the city's used them for a long time. Maybe they can come back and help the city look at some options within that group.
Yeah, and so we've already talked about that internally, that we'll, you know, putting folks together and bringing retirees and management to what can we do, what is palatable, what's a plan design that could be acceptable, because we honestly have very few levers to pull to help plan designs, and there's some chain, you know, network.
And we also could look at United too, because United right now with the new rates is a lower cost plan. I mean, there's some savings on United.
Not for retirees.
Okay.
United
The
has
alternate plan, yes.
The alternate plan is the lowest cost plan for going into 2017.
So now
United has been higher for the retirees because, again, they've only had 200-ish or a little over that. So they've had that long-term history of having a small group, and they've been pretty consistent about the rate increases around the 10% mark for years. But they've been, they've had to struggle with funding that insured piece for years, and so they are still, the HMO is high, and I'm babbling around a little bit, but that's not our lowest plan like it is on our active population.
Does it price similarly now, or is it still higher even with the increases?
It's higher.
Even with the increases?
Right. Between the alt and standard, yeah.
Are there other options within United as
Of
far as other
course.
plan designs that would help us? I mean, it's like Linda's talking about, if we're going to look at different ways we could structure our indemnity plan to try to help with this, are there ways we could structure that to see if there's other alternatives we could offer?
Yeah, United is $100 or so less than the other. They're $1,281 against $1,305, so it's pretty close,
It is slightly less?
slightly less. Slightly less, but yes, United is a fully insured, offers fully insured products to us. They have any, we can create anything we want with them. We just tell them what kind of plan designs we want, and they can tell us what's going out in the marketplace right now, what other employers are doing for retirees, what kind of world they see, and Blues can do the same thing. And since we're and we can make that choice where we want to continue self-funded for retiree plans, or we want to go to insured plans, and there's lots of choices to be made, and we can get there. There's just going to have to be a series of choices.
Is the problem with the early retiree, though, that it's such a small pool that it's going to be challenging to really develop something that's palatable, because the healthy folks will then move to that high deductible, and then the non-healthy will just stay in the other plan, and you're still going to have basically the same economic issue within that group.
Yes.
And so I think that's the problem, is that it's such a small group that it's hard to really shift the plan development and get proper distribution such that the economics work out.
Right. So
Yes, unless in plan design you drop one plan, it was like an existing plan and changed it for the only one that's available. You know what I mean? Where you move to where the plan might be that everyone has to move over to that other option. And you try to select that.
because that's part of the solution. Maybe we just need to offer one plan for retirees under 65 to help those numbers come up, make a larger pool, do some plan design changes. And it's going to be a woolly bugger, as I say, to try and
Well, but
Find what we
I
can
kind
do.
of think you got a lot of plans that's out there right now that there's just different groups, numbers in those different groups, which can affect each one of those groups.
yes,
So the people who you're saying is very sick is having to pay a very big premium. But you've got other groups that have sick people too.
yes.
But you're kind of sticking it to that one group. I just think that city needs to maybe look at something, a change. They have
Okay,
to change in a long time.
Yes, we have, yeah, and we've always paralleled with our active negotiations. So, the state law freed us that we got that change, that we don't have to offer the same plan. Wouldn't we change it barely 2 years ago, legislative-wise? Prior to that, we had to offer every retirees the same plan. Now we can create our own retiree plan. So I think that's the path we need to go down, get people involved into how we want to structure that plan, and then go forward with moving that to mayor and council.
Is board maybe given a recommendation to council?
So anyway, that's where we are, and yes, I do realize it is painful.
So do you think you'd put another ad hoc committee together?
Right.
To look at those different options? And
We're quite willing to do that.
be nice if we had an ad hoc committee that put together for an educational plan for city employees on their health insurance, not just active, but retirees too. It would be nice if there was an educational that come from maybe Blue Cross and Blue Shield that helps us all in the plan.
Okay. So the folks will all be there, open to Civic Center. So if you want some one-on-one conversations, yeah. So the plan reps are all there the last week in October, and this may be a good chance for everyone to engage with particular plans, what's best for their situations. And we, of course, could bring people to retiree events if y'all when and where you ever want them. So the other thing is the meeting dates for 2017 have been sent to the city clerk, and we will put it in your packet next for December. Again, they're the first Wednesday of the month in February, April, June, August, October, and December. So just to remind you that those are forthcoming. And we'll also have on the agenda for y'all to ratify who's going to chair the meeting, because that was on our way back in August, and we haven't had a quorum for y'all to confirm or select somebody, or myself or whatever. So anyway, so we'll bring that forward next meeting to officially check the box, okay? All right, is there anything from y'all? Any committee members? What about folks in the audience today? Comments? Everybody good? You back row Baptist, I'm worried.
They're quiet.
Was it? Okay. All right. Pleasure, Kathleen. All right, it's 9:07. Let's call the meeting adjourned today, and thank you for your attendance. Okay.